Today we're playing a game so evil, so sinister, that only a mutated crow, a slug, and an earthworm could have come up with it. Today we're playing Earthworm Jim, until we win. Originally released in 1994 on the Sega Genesis, Earthworm Jim was praised for its detailed animation, tight controls, polished gameplay, and surrealist humor. It was so well received that it was ported to the Super Nintendo, the Game Boy, Game Gear, Sega Master System, Game Boy Advance, Sega CD, and the PC. The game was even released on the Wii Virtual Console, and a port of the game is expected to be released on Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Network. Hell, this game was so loved that it even got its own Saturday morning cartoon show. Yeah, so as screwed up as the game is, it's still a conventional run-and-gun platformer. You run, you jump, you shoot, you take off your head and whip things. Okay, that's a little odd, but the basic idea is to get from point A to point B in each level without dying. This game is known for two things: its wacky, surrealist humor, and its legendary difficulty. With only 3 lives and 1 continue, you're going to end up playing through this game a lot. Of course, I've got some tips today to help you get through Earthworm Jim alive. There's no time limit in this game, except for the damn water level, so take the time to analyze situations. You don't want to jump into a new section of the game only to get beat to death by unkillable bad guys. You need to learn the mechanics of the game pretty quickly in order to advance. It feels smooth and natural for the most part. There are some sections where not understanding how Jim is going to react can really hurt you. While you can run, jump, and shoot, you can also whip by pressing A. Not only can you use this skill to grab onto things and swing from them, but you can also kill enemies this way too, a skill that will come in handy later in the game. Your gun auto-recharges if you have less than 100 shots left, but it's slow. Try to conserve your ammo as much as possible. While the game does give you a lot of ammo in each level, you may find that you'll quickly run out if you're not careful. There really aren't any puzzles in this game, so you can rest assured that if something's moving on the screen, chances are it's probably going to try and kill you. If you feel like you can safely explore a level, then do it. There are a lot of hidden power-ups in this game, and since there's no time limit, take the time to actually look for them. If you rapidly press jump while in the air, you'll spin your head around, kind of like a helicopter. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Kinda like that, yeah. Please don't do that again. Well, with that out of the way, let's get to the levels. Level 1, New Junk City. You start off in a junkyard. The level is pretty straightforward. Go right until you can't anymore. While the level is pretty simple, there are some sticking points, like having to jump through a pile of tires or climbing up to the conveyor belt from hell. And then there's this. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. There are 2 primary enemies in this level, crows and dogs. The crows can be beaten pretty easily. A couple of bullets or 1 whip will do the trick. The junkyard dogs are a bit more difficult because you're usually on a chain hanging over them. Just press up to lift Jim out of the way of danger and move on. Otherwise, a few shots from the gun will take care of him. Along the way, you'll end up fighting this trash can on wheels. He has a simple pattern in his, I guess, human form. Just shoot him and the garbage he causes to fall from the sky. In car mode, I guess he's a transformer, jump over him and get a couple of shots in after the jump. If you miscalculate, well, he'll give you a stiff uppercut and knock you back a few feet. Try to be a little more accurate with your jump next time. Very cool indeed. After that, you'll get to face the stage boss, Chuck. He's actually really simple. Wait for a box to drop down, then whip it to the lower right corner of the screen. If it bounces back up and hits Chuck, he'll take damage, then go insane and spit a bunch of dead fish up at you. Eventually, you'll beat Chuck and move on to level 2. What the heck? This level takes place on a planet called Heck. Much like the previous level, all you need to do is march forward, killing the hell spawns and lawyers which is a terribly corny joke, and avoid the flames of hell. The hell spawns are pretty easy to kill, just shoot them. The lawyers can't be shot though, unless you whip them first. There are these green stones in this level that help Jim advance. When you come up to one, you'll have to jump on it and run in place. The stone will either levitate or teleport you to another section. There's a mini-boss in this level, the snowman that shoots fireballs at you and teleports in and out by melting. I guess kinda like bad Mr. Frosty. He's easy to beat though, but you might end up taking a lot of damage in the process. Jump to avoid him and his fireballs and get a shot in whenever you get the opportunity. The level boss is Evil the Cat, who steals your suit. Evil will shoot fire at you out of a cannon. Just continue to jump and avoid the fire until the pillar holding the platform he's on melts away. You'll be able to jump back into your suit and face off against Evil. The second part of the boss battle is a bit of a pain. Evil will fly at you from one of three directions, left, right, and center. Avoid his leap and then shoot him. Once you kill him 9 times, the level's over. And oh, believe me, this is much easier said than done. Level 3, Down the Tubes. There are several enemies in this level, including a floating orb, angry orange cats, and number 4, who kind of looks like a furry version of Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can shoot the pink orbs, but the 2 cats are impossible to kill. Well, somewhat. Number 4 only wanders in tunnels where you can either jump over him or hang from the ceiling, so avoid him. The orange cats can either be jumped over, or you can ride one of the giant hamsters and use it to eat the orange cats.
I've been forgotten, I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Now this level is very straightforward, but it is extremely difficult because of these fucking pods. What's wrong with them? Well, consider this. You have a low amount of air in the pod, so the game places you on a strict timer. The pods can't take much damage, and oh yeah, the game completely changes the dynamics of moving. For a game that requires you to master its controls to beat it, suddenly changing how you move is a real ballbuster. Now there are some air refill stations making these sections slightly easier, but it's this last damn section that will break more than a few controllers. Yeah, you're gonna die. A lot. I know I usually have some sort of advice for you in these sections, but this one takes the friggin' cake. There's nothing I can say or explain that'll help you get past this damn part. You just need to play it over and over and over again until you absolutely master it. And then there's the boss, Bob the Killer Goldfish. Well, that was difficult. I think now's a good time to mention this, the Andy Asteroids levels. In between different levels, you'll pull out your pocket rocket and race against Psy-Crow. The level itself is amazingly simple. Just pay attention to what's coming at you, rather than trying to react to what's already in front of you. Use the shield power-up to activate your shield, which will destroy asteroids. Hitting Psy-Crow with the shield will also send him back. The real trick to the asteroid race is to hit as many warp bubbles as you possibly can, because Psy-Crow will hit all of them. If you manage to stay in front of him, you'll proceed to the next level. If you don't, however, you'll have to fight Psy-Crow one-on-one. He's not too difficult. Shoot him with your gun, then whip him. Dodge the hooks he fires at you, jump over him when he tries to ram you, and repeat until he runs away. Level 4, Snot a Problem, and oh boy, this level brings back some bad memories. Horrible Battletoads-like memories. This level is split into 3 rounds, and in each round your objective is to make the other guy's bungee cord snap. Your goal is to push a guy named Major Mucus into a wall, causing his snot to snap. Who thought that up? Not only can he do the same thing to you, but he also has a spinning attack that will cut through your rope, even if he doesn't bounce you into the wall. On top of that, Mucus Phlegmbrain roams the deep waters below, and if you get close to him, Jim turns into dinner. I don't know if you're taking the trick with me, folks. You're bungee jumping against a snot ball, and you're trying to make his snot bungee cord snap in half. But if you get too close to this phlegm monster, it eats you. What is wrong with these people? The first 2 rounds are pretty simple, and you can basically win them almost by accident. Just keep bumping into Major Mucus until you beat him. The 3rd round requires a bit more thought. Basically, when you rebound, stay to one side of the screen, fairly close to the walls, and wait for Major Mucus to come up under you. Quickly move to the side and bash him into the wall. Repeat until his rope snaps. Level 5, which is aptly titled Level 5. No cute name. What happened? Well, it's the 5th level, and you're inside Professor Monkey Forehead. And his assistant is Monkey Professor Forehead. Well, we're back to the straightforward platforming here, although there are some level-specific obstacles, like the lightning rods you need to time your jumps on, and the balls of electricity that you need to jump on carefully, and the gladiator-style ball that you travel in. Wow, this place is messed up. The first part might confuse some people. Go as far right as you possibly can in this stage, jumping across the lightning rods and shoot the target. Go back, and then you'll be able to make your way up the escalator at the beginning of the stage. At one point in the level, you'll get trapped in a metal ball and be forced to defend yourself from flying radioactive things. I don't know if this is a test of reflexes or just an endurance round, but I died several times before I was lucky enough to get through it. My suggestion, fire like crazy and hope you don't run out of bullets. In another part of the level, Jim will get separated from his suit thanks to some ceiling fans. This part of the level is tricky, but not difficult. Essentially, all you need to do is keep jumping over and around obstacles. If an enemy gets in your way, jump into a ceiling fan, and when Jim is tossed forward, he'll destroy any enemy he hits. The suit follows you on a conveyor belt below. Make sure you keep up with it, otherwise it'll reach the end of the conveyor belt and fall into oblivion. And you don't want that to happen. You'll face off against Professor Monkey Forehead in this level, but he's not that much of a problem. Just shoot your gun at him and he'll run away. His assistant, Monkey Professor Forehead, doesn't really attack you, so much as climb up walls and open vents, which causes flying, floating eyeballs to come attack you. I don't know, don't ask me, man. Just kill the eyeballs before they kill you and move on. Eventually, you'll get up to the stage boss, which is Robo Chicken. A half-robot, half-chicken thing that lays bombs and throws explosive chicken eggs at Jim. Shooting the chicken doesn't do anything here, but if you whip the red target, you can drop objects on Robo Chicken. Drop enough objects on him, and both of you will teleport to a bottomless pit lined with spikes. What a wonderful reward. In this second part of the fight, shoot Robo Chicken to expose a bomb. Keep shooting to cause the bomb to explode. Cause enough explosions and Robo Chicken dies. It's a very simple concept. It takes a while, but just keep at it and try not to die. I think we should recap this level, don't you? You're fighting in a laboratory owned by Professor Monkey Forehead, who has an assistant called Monkey Professor Forehead. His ultimate creation is a half-robot, half-chicken thing called Robo Chicken, which lays bombs and throws explosive eggs at you. And then when he loses, teleports both of you into a bottomless pit lined with spikes. Because goddammit, if he can't win, nobody can.
I've been forgotten, I know. I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did...
Level 6, for Pete's sake. If you ever got up to this level as a kid, then you know how absolutely frustrating and miserable this level is. On a distant planet that constantly finds itself under a storm of meteors lives Pete the dog, Jim's loyal companion. Pete is, sensitive. He'll duck under your fire or jump if you whip him, but if he gets hurt by falling meteors, enemies, or if he falls down a pit, Pete will transform into a hideous monster, grab Jim, and send him back to a predetermined point in the level, taking a rather large chunk of Jim's health with him. There's some obstacles in this level, including springboards, which send Pete sailing into the sky, and seesaws, which send Pete flying backwards or forwards, and then there are these damn UFOs that fire a stasis beam at you, causing you to freeze in place long enough to let Pete fall into a pit or take damage. This level is evil. Pure friggin' evil. I can't really tell you how to beat this level because it's all based on reaction time and how well you know the layout, but I can give you some advice. First, try to stay ahead of Pete. Letting him fall down a pit or get mangled by the tentacles growing out of the ground is only going to piss him off. Always make sure you spring a seesaw before Pete is on it. You don't want to accidentally send him sailing into a pit. Make sure you use the gun to take out enemies, not the whip. Sure, it would be nice to kill them in one shot, but you don't want to accidentally whip Pete and send him jumping into an obstacle. Finally, don't bother trying the advanced level. You don't get anything for it other than a headache. When you come up to the choice of advanced or home, just go home. Now, in other versions of the game, there's a 7th level called Intestinal Distress. However, it's not present on the Super Nintendo version, so I'm not going to play it. Because it's not in the game. I can't play the level I don't have. Don't look at me like that. Level 7, Buttville. The last level of the game is broken up into 2 parts. The first, shorter part, called Use Your Head, starts off with Jim having to jump down and guide himself through a winding maze of harmful spikes. The only advice I have for you here is to just keep on tapping that B button and hope to God you don't move too far to the left or right, otherwise you're as good as dead. Apparently this section has an easy and a hard mode. I never knew that because I just simply went to the right, but apparently you can go left or right. In either case, you'll eventually end up at the bottom of the pit and get teleported to section 2. The second part is hard. Really hard. You'll need all of your jumping, blasting, and whipping skills to get through it. Some tips for getting through this level? Don't die. Make sure you shoot the damn beehives down. Not only do the bees hurt a lot, they're everywhere, but destroying the beehive will stop the bees from attacking. If you press up while you're swinging across something, your momentum will take you in an upward arc rather than across. This helps early on, especially when you're trying to whip onto one specific platform, and later on in the game when you need to whip your way up a pillar of hooks. When you get up to the part with the floating basketballs, are they basketballs? I don't know, I have no idea. That's what they look like. Pay close attention to the background. If there are a set of yellow eyes, that means there's a nasty monster waiting to cut you in half. The easiest way to deal with this bad guy, and the only way, is to whip it. One direct hit will kill it. This is easier said than done though, especially when you need to whip and jump across several of these basketballs to get to the next portion of the level. I defy you to do this in one life. There you'll have to swing your way across a chasm, not, as I found out after multiple deaths, fall down to a platform. This will bring us to the mini-boss of the stage, Queen Pulsating, Bloating, Festering, Sweaty, Pus-Filled, Malformed, Slug for a Butt. You're fighting the Queen's ass. The strategy here is simple. Whip her in the butt until she gives up. The platform at the bottom will continually move, and the longer you take to kill this mini-boss, the more platforms turn into spikes. Just be quick and whip her a few times and you should be alright. And finally, you get up to Queen Pulsating, Bloating, Festering, Sweaty, Pus-Filled, Malformed, Slug for a Butt proper. And the boss battle is not easy. The general idea is that you ride on the snot platform circling the Queen, shoot the hornet she summons, and attack her with your whip. Again, this is easier said than done, especially because you're more than likely going to run out of ammo before you kill the queen. There's really no strategy involved here, you just gotta get lucky. If you need a break, you can always jump back to the other snot platform, run back, grab the 100% health power-up at the end of the map, assuming you didn't already use it, and then go back and keep plugging away at her. After many, many, many deaths and abuse of the continue screen, you'll beat the queen and save the day. Whew. Well, that's Earthworm Jim, folks, and wow, what a game. I mean, cows being launched in the air, a guy throwing up dead fish, goldfish in a bowl that you just knock over, racing a crow in space on pocket rockets, and a queen slug for a butt, Professor Monkey for a head, Monkey Professor for a head. What a mindfuck.
I've been married long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? But I've been Cotton Eye Joe. I've been married long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Earthworm Jim!
The soil he did crawl.
Earthworm Jim!
A super suit did fall. Jim was just a dirt-eating, chewy length of worm flesh, but all that came to a crashing end.
Earthworm Jim!
He's such a groovy guy.
Earthworm Jim!
He rockets through the sky, cruising through the universe, having lots of fun. Here comes Earthworm Jim, you know that he's a mighty one. Look out! Despite his great big muscles and his really big ray gun, Jim is still an earthworm, but then he's the only one with a super suit to make him really super strong. Jim can be a winner if we only sing along.
Earthworm Jim!
We think he's mighty fine.
Earthworm Jim!
A hero for all time.
Earthworm Jim! Hooray for him!
Groovy!
Hello Jason, my name is Dr. Spitzel. Welcome to my mindfuck. Does that bother you? Ha ha ha.